There you go. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday. Wonderful. I don't know where y'all at or how it is where y'all at, but it is raining here. But still, gotta get this word in. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday. Had a good day at work, or if you stayed at home, a good day at home. Whatever you got to do, I hope it has been magnificent. I'll just give a couple of minutes, let everybody get in, and then we'll go ahead and start this lesson. There you go. Oh, my forehead's shining, boy. I ain't even put no grease on this time neither. My forehead just shining. I ain't put no grease on it. How you doing, Miss Ashley? Hope everything is doing good. Everybody's doing good. Hope you're doing as well. I'm going to give like maybe one more minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. Got a special lesson tonight. So, matter of fact, I just go ahead and start. I know I'm running my mouth anyway. So, people come in as they come in. So, again, how you doing, Ms. Ashley? How's everybody doing tonight? Brother John Stewart, on behalf of Lost Sheep Ministries, here to bring out a lesson tonight. And this is a special lesson. I wasn't going to do this. I know I told y'all, if y'all watched last week, I know I told y'all we will go into the next lesson on in Samuel, dealing with obedience. And I just saw this opportunity to bring this lesson up. I think it's a very important lesson to do, especially with all that's going on in our world today. We see the attack on women today and the whole gender issue and all those things. So I want to talk about motherhood. With it being Mother's Day yesterday, this is actually a lesson I did about 3 years ago. I did it because my Monday just knows that it just happened to fall out to Mother's Day, and it was like it worked out the same way it worked out this time. Whereas, I don't have a set thing to do, and we hadn't started a new lesson yet. So I'm like, well, we haven't started that next lesson on obedience yet. So let me go ahead and throw this lesson in on motherhood. And because I think it's just some things that we need to think about, some things we need to hear, and some things we need to understand about what it means to be a mother. I know I'm a guy, teach about what it means to be a mother, but I've been living with one for the last 20-something years. So I got a good idea. Not to mention, I talk to people all the time. I minister to women all the time. I minister to mothers all the time, single mothers and things of that nature. So I have a good idea. I ain't going to be perfect on it. I know that much, you know what I'm saying? But I do have a pretty idea on what it takes to be a mother. And it's a spectacular thing. It's the one of the most magnificent things I think that women can do in our society. And that's just kind of what I want to talk about today. So like I said, I was going to go ahead and do the lesson, get into Samuel again, but like one more little sidetrack, and we'll get to Samuel next week. One more little sidetrack. It was just, like I said, I did this lesson about 3 years ago. And it's just with everything that's been going on, like I said, in society, especially dealing with motherhood, I just wanted to bring this lesson out, and I hope y'all don't mind. And I hope you enjoy it. So it's a little bit of a special lesson. And guys, just because it's aimed at women don't mean you can't listen in. It don't mean it's only for women. It's for everybody. And hopefully you guys that's watching the videos will stay in there and give you a little bit of understanding, more of appreciation of women and what they do for our society as well. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So that lesson, we're going to be in Samuel just a little bit farther down the road than where we were at. So that lesson, we're going to be in 2 Samuel chapter 21. And we're going to look through verses 1 through 14 is what we're going to look through tonight. And like I said, it's just a wonderful story. If you guys read your Bible, you probably know the story. And I could have chose several other different, there's several different other examples of great mothers in the Bible. But this one, man, I think this was just extreme. Like what this lady did here, just really, it touched my heart. And we get in the story, it's going to touch the king's heart. And it just, to me, is the very definition of what it means to be a mother. That's just how I feel about it. And that's why I want to do this tonight and use her. Of all the mothers that I could have used in the Bible, she's the example that I wanted to use because, like I said, her actions and the things that she did just really, to me, is what it really means to be a mother. And like I said, with Mother's Day being yesterday and then having no necessarily set thing that we had to do today, I want to go ahead and do this lesson. I think it'll help us a lot. So again, we're going to be in 2 Samuel chapter 21, verses 1 through 14. So before I get into that and before I get into prayer, I do want to see Miss Ashley. Y'all always asking. She already asking me about it. So I know y'all been praying for me and with the situation on my job and everything, and whether we're gonna have to move. So for all my Law Sheet people that I meet in person, I know you people on the internet, it ain't gonna affect you at all because I was still gonna do my videos. But for my Law Sheet people that I meet in person and the ones I go visit in person, it was gonna affect them in a mighty way. So they've been really concerned about it. So I want to let y'all know. Thank y'all for the prayers. And I want to let you know that, unfortunately, for you Law Sheet people, you're going to have to deal with me for a few more years. I'm not going anywhere. We're staying here. The company that I'm working for doing contract work, they finally made me a decent offer to what it was enough to get me to stay, so to speak. They made me, I ain't going to say it's an offer I can't refuse, but it was enough to get me to stay. So, and it showed me that they was really interested. So I am staying here. I am not going nowhere. I guess Waverly and God have me in Waverly for a little bit. I guess my work here in Waverly is not done just yet. So we will be staying in Waverly for the near future, at least another couple of years. So we will continue yes, Miss Ashley, I'm glad you're happy. So we will continue my people that I meet in person. We will continue with the Law Sheet ministry. It is not done just yet. I guess I still got some work to do. I still got some work to do on y'all little knuckleheads. So God left me here. So I'm happy about it. Didn't have to uproot the family and change the whole life and all that stuff around. God worked everything out, and then I got a really good deal as well. So everything worked out perfectly. So for all those that was wondering, I will be staying here in Waverly for the near future. Now, if something else open up or something else happened, then it might be a couple of years before they happen. But for right now, I will be staying in Waverly. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pray so we can jump into that lesson. But I know y'all was waiting to hear that, and I appreciate the prayers and everything. And like I said, everything worked out in a wonderful way. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pray. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for watching over us today. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to get into this word. Thank you for this message you put in my heart. I did it about 3 years ago, and I just felt it was important to bring this lesson back up today in today's time and the way things are going and the attack that we've been seeing on women and womanhood and especially motherhood, Lord. I just felt that this lesson was a good one to do to open the people's eyes to what's really going on behind the scenes and the spiritual wickedness that this attack on motherhood is involved in. We just ask you to just watch over us as we go about the night. Send your spirit down upon me as I bring these truths forward. I pray that you help me bring out the truths from these words, give the people the wisdom they need to make the decision they need to make, to decide the path they're going to go down, especially when they're dealing with motherhood and thinking about being mothers. Help them see the significance and the importance of it, Lord. And I pray you send your spirit down upon the hearts of all those that's watching. Let the hearts, the spirit touch their hearts, give them the wisdom and the willingness to listen. I know I'm a man talking about a woman's situation, but help them look past that part and look past the messenger and listen to the message and get the message that's being relayed to them here tonight, Lord. I pray as always, Lord, you just let your spirit guide this session, continue to use me and this ministry in a mighty way to honor and glorify your name. And I thank you for letting us finally have some resolve on the situation with my job and letting everything work out perfectly so I can continue to do the ministry and honor and glorify you. We love you so much. Thank you for all you've done and given. And I say this prayer in your wonderful son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so yes, I will be staying, Miss Ashley. God ain't got rid of me yet. Y'all ain't got rid of me yet. I know this probably a sad day for you, but no, I'm excited. I get to hang out with you guys a little bit longer, so I'm glad it all got worked out. I know my loud cup. It's so annoying, but again, I told you my baby girl gave it to me, so I can't get rid of it. So, that being said, that's all out the way. We want to get into this lesson tonight. And like I said, I've already talked about it, talked about motherhood. The title of it is called, the title of the lesson is called A Father's Sin and a Mother's Love. And again, we're going to get into that. The introduction, I got a pretty long introduction, then we'll get into the lesson here. But again, the overall theme, what I'm going to talk about tonight is, it's the thing of motherhood. I believe that one of the most important roles that a woman can play in our society, and I'm gonna say woman a lot tonight. I'm gonna say woman. I wanted to say female, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna say woman. And when I say woman, I want y'all to understand that I'm talking about somebody with 2 X chromosomes. You know what I'm saying? Somebody with ovaries or somebody with a vagina. When I say woman, that's what I'm talking about. Somebody that can give birth, because those are the only ones that can truly be mothers. So again, I believe the most important role that a woman can play in our society is the role of a mother. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I might, me being a man, and I'm trying to, talk about a woman situation. I know how y'all get all up tight about that these days, but and I might catch some heat for this. I might catch some flack for this next statement. But in my honest opinion, and like I said, y'all can disagree. This is just is on the outside looking in. But in my honest opinion, I don't believe that a woman that never has children can truly experience the joy of being a woman. And again, like I understand that's a huge statement, it's a big statement, but I just really don't. I don't know. I'm not a woman, but I just with what I've seen and what I've seen with motherhood and what I've seen with women that have become mothers, I don't think a woman can really enjoy truly being a woman if they never experienced the joy of having children, even if it's just one. I just really don't. I mean, I really feel sorry. No, I don't say feel sorry. I want to say, because I don't feel like a bad thing, but well, I guess a better word would be empathetic. Empathetic. Did I say? Yeah, empathetic. I should have looked it up before I said empathetic. I really feel empathetic for women like that, the women that don't have children, especially if they're in a situation where they want to have children. Like I know women that don't want to have children, and I'm not as empathetic for them because they chose that, but I still feel bad for them because like it's so much joy that come with being a mother, And like I said, because I remember this one time I met this lady. She was a contractor for me, and she was doing some work in my lab. And we was talking, and I asked her about, did she have children? And she was like, no, ew. I mean, she was like, it was like she got a friend, like, ew. Like, no, I'm never having children. I want to travel. And the reasons were, it was just selfish reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to travel and go where I want to do, and I want my body to look, you know what I'm saying, like this and that. And I mean, and honestly, y'all probably think like, man, she sound like a B word. And I would tell you she was. She was like the whole time she worked with me, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like the worst woman ever. Like, she probably don't need to have children. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I understand her thinking. She want to feel like she can be free and go where she want to go and do what she want to do. And that's cool when you're young. But when you get older, man, you know what I'm saying? When you get older and you stuck, you know what I'm saying, with all the cats because you never have children, never had nobody to really pour your all into, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get lonely and you're going to wish you had children. You're going to wish you, instead of taking all those trips and being able to go where you want to, you just stay home and have some children. And again, I know I can catch some flack for that. This is just my personal opinion because I know women also that said, oh, I'm never having children. Like I'm never having children. That's the last thing I do, having children. And then they end up having children. And when they had those children, it completely changed them. You know what I'm saying? It's completely changed them. And them having children end up being like the best thing that ever happened to them. Like I've seen it happen. I know a good couple of good friends. I ain't gonna say their name. I don't know if they watch the videos or not, but I mean, a good couple. And I remember one time we was like at a dinner, and I was joking with them because I was about to have my grandkids, and I knew they didn't have kids, and I was just like, man, when y'all gonna have some kids? And like the whole time, and I guess apparently everybody else knew and I didn't, but the whole table got quiet. So apparently, like, you know what I'm saying, that apparently like this was like a big thing, and the guy, who's my friend, he wanted to have kids, but his wife didn't. And apparently it was like a big thing where they like got into like arguments over before because he wanted a kid and they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it was just one of like those awkward moments, like everybody just like, I can't believe you brought it up kind of thing, And I was like, okay, But anyway, so a little while later, I don't know exactly how much later, but a little while later, they end up having a night where somebody slipped up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Somebody slipped up and she ended up getting pregnant. And man, if you can see the way she treats this little girl and the way the love that she pours into the little girl and the smile she gets when she holds the little girl, I mean, it's like a completely different person. And sometimes it was like, I thought you didn't want kids. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, the society teaches women to be independent and having kids is going to ruin you. And man, it's such a blessing. I mean, for dads as well. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm talking about women. I'm harping on women. That don't mean dads I forgot about you, but this is Women's Day. This is strictly for the mothers. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's such a joy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think a woman feels any greater in her purpose. The greatest purpose she feels is to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? To be able to, when you get that, you didn't held something inside of you for 9 months and nourished it with your body, and you know what I'm saying, and basically sacrifice your whole body and life for it, and then it comes and it looks up at you, and you know that its whole survival is dependent upon you, and it puts its full faith in you. Man, I can't imagine that. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine that there's nothing like that. I can't even imagine that feeling, that sensation of having that child, you know, and that's why I say, like I said, I know I'm gonna catch some flack for it, but I just don't feel a woman without children can really understand and really have the joy of being a woman if she never had children, because I think that's the greatest part of being a woman. You know what I'm saying? I believe motherhood to me, again, this is my own professional opinion or whatever. Motherhood to me is one of the most pivotal positions in our society. You know what I'm saying? The mother, that having the mother that nourish the kids and nurture the kids. Yes, the dad can discipline the kids, the dad can protect the kids and take care of the kids, but it's the mothers that really nurture. If you notice, and this is gonna sound kind of bad, but I used to watch Criminal Minds a lot. You know, they were one of my me and my kids used to love watching this show, Criminal Minds, and it's weird. Most of the serial killers that they was always, whenever they was profiling the serial killers, these guys that was out there doing these evil things, a lot of what they was doing had a lot of correlation to what the kind of relationship they had with their mom. It's insane the way these guys had the relationship with their mother, and it was mostly men. There was a few women in there, but it was mostly men. And most of the things they did, you know what I'm saying, whenever the criminal mind people, I forgot what you call them, the specialist behavior analysts or whatever, whenever they put a profile together, one of the things they always focused on was the relationship, especially, you know, the relationship with their mom. It determined like the type of people, the type of women they was killing and things like that. And it was so, you know what I'm saying, intertwined, that relationship with mom, because the mother's really, the nurturing that the mom give, the direction that the mom give, it really guides our society. You know what I'm saying? It really does guide our society. And that's why I believe our society is in decline right now, because motherhood is under attack. You know what I'm saying? Motherhood is being attacked. You know what I'm saying? It started with the whole, you know, independent woman thing. You know, they teach women, don't have no kids. It's gonna bog you down, and you know, it's gonna mess your body up, and you know what I'm saying, it need to be hot girl summer. You can't have hot girl summer. You can't do this and that and that. If you one of them little crumb snatchers, that's the wrong thing to do. And you know what I'm saying? And then you got women being made fun of or called foolish because they choose to enjoy what I believe. Again, my own personal opinion. I'm a man talking about this, but what I believe, and y'all can disagree. I know there's some women on here watching, you know, actually, and y'all can disagree with me if you want, you know, so let me know if hey, you know, you wrong on that. But again, women are being told that they're foolish. They're being told they're dumb, you know what I'm saying, for enjoying what I believe is one of the greatest gifts that was bestowed upon the human race. You know what I'm saying? And that was the gift that God gave women to bring forth new life. You know what I'm saying? Our whole society, our whole existence is because of mothers. You know what I'm saying? And Paul even talked about that. Paul was talking about that. I can't remember exactly where it was. I should have looked it up so I can quote it correctly, but he was talking about, you know what I'm saying, he was talking about the devotion between men and women, and you know what I'm saying, he's like, yes, the man is the head, and this is, I'm misquoting it, I'm paraphrasing it, but he was basically like, yes, men is the head, the man, you know what I'm saying, the man's supposed to be the important one in the family, he's supposed to be the foundation of the family, yes, he's supposed to be the head of the family, you know what I'm saying, yes, he should be out front, he said, but that don't diminish from the woman at all. He said, yeah, the man is the head of the family. He's in the leader of the family because he was created first. He said, but though the first woman came from a man, every man has come from a woman ever since. You see what I'm saying? So every man alive, every human being alive came from a woman, came from some mother somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being attacked, and them telling people, no, don't have no babies, don't get your money, girl, and you know what I'm saying, do this and go live your life, do all that. Like, man, they don't realize the blessing they missing out on with becoming a mother. You know what I'm saying? So the whole independent, the whole feminist movement, it is destroying our society, destroying the mentality of women, and they out there trying to get a bag, and they out there trying to, shake it at the club and have hot girl summer instead of being what I believe they was truly meant to be, which was the life bringers. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's keeping this society going. I mean, it's completely on the shoulders of women having baby. If the women stop having babies, all the women stop having babies, guess what? Our society is going to cease to exist in the next 30, 40, I say 50, 60 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's important, but it's under attack. You know what I'm saying? And it started with the whole independent movement. And now we got a whole nother aspect that's being under attack with the whole transgender movement. You know what I'm saying? The whole transgender thing, it was already under attack because of the independent women and the feminist thing. And now with the transgender thing coming in, it's under attack again. We just celebrated Mother's Day yesterday. And don't you know they trying to get rid of the word mothers? You know what I'm saying? If you go to certain stores, they have, you go into the Mother's Day section, they don't even have Mother's Day card. They call it birthing person. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is that? Birthing person. You see what I'm saying? It's motherhood is being under attack. They call it birthing person. They talk about they want to get rid of Mother's Days and Father's Days because it offend people. It leave people out. Yes, it leave people out. People that are not mothers. People that can't be mothers. You know what I'm saying? They have the nerve to say that a man could be mothers too. So if the say just have it just Mother's Day, then it's offensive, and it leave out the other mothers, the men that could be mothers too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I know I bring it up all the time, and I know I talk about it all the time, but man, it's something about the whole transgender movement. It pisses me off so much, and I'm like, how the preacher gonna say it does? It pisses me off so much because the motherhood is to take something like motherhood, you know what I'm saying? Something that's so holy, you know what I'm saying? And it's so sacred, and you know what I'm saying? And something that's holy and as sacred as the sanctity of motherhood, and take it away from women and give it to some dudes that's playing dress up, man, that pisses me off. It makes me so mad. And the fact that society is going along with it and everybody's saying, okay, and nobody's doing nothing about it. Everybody just, they want to be PC. They want to be inclusive. Well, everybody's not meant to be included. You know what I'm saying? Men are not meant to be included in motherhood. We just got to face it. Everybody ain't going to be included in everything. Everybody can't play football. Everybody can't play basketball. Everybody have trials and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And it makes me so mad. I've got to put my phone on silent. So I apologize if calls and stuff come through. But again, it makes me so mad because it's impossible for a man to truly be a mother. You know what I'm saying? It's impossible for a man to be a mother. And I'm not even just talking about the biological impossibility. You know, they don't got ovaries, they don't have vagina, they don't have the things for a man. It's impossible. I'm not even talking about that, the simple stuff. I'm talking about on a spiritual level. Because something that I've learned, and again, I know when women are on here, and if I'm going down the wrong road, just let me know. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Lord, I'm like Paul, I think the Lord has given me this, and I think I'm right on this. You know what I'm saying? But it's impossible for a man to be a mother because being a mother is not just physical. It goes beyond just the fact that they having a baby. And again, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? When I was doing some research for this, putting this together, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I found this quote. And I thought it was a great quote, and it kind of goes along with what I'm saying. I found this on Google, you know what I'm saying? So I can't get a credit because one of those things just popped up, but it was perfectly what I was talking about to make this point here. But this quote I found on Google said, motherhood is a state in which one experiences maternal roles. It has a strong intrinsic meaning for women, such as the qualities and values of a mother. And here you go. And it goes way beyond mere fertility. See, it goes beyond just the physical, there's a baby inside, the baby grew and all that. No, there's a spiritual connection. See, most people don't realize that. Most people don't understand that. Our society don't understand it because we've gotten so far away from God. Our society don't understand that it's spiritual. Being a mother is more than just I'm a mother because of the spiritual interaction. I mean, the physical interaction. You know, I had sex, got pregnant, got knocked up, the baby, baby grew in me, had them. No, it's spiritual. It's spiritual. It's very spiritual. As a matter of fact, it's a deep spiritual undertone in motherhood. You know what I'm saying? There's a deep connection between a mother and a child, and it goes way beyond the physical. You know what I'm saying? It goes way beyond, oh, well, he came out of me because I love him. No, there's a spiritual attachment there that we can't get past. That's why, you know what I'm saying? You notice when guys get successful, they could have had their dad in their life the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Their whole life, their dad was there, grinding, working to provide for his family, taking care of his kids, teaching them how to throw the football, teaching them how to shoot the basketball, whatever. But soon they get ahead, soon they get big, what's the first thing they say? Hey, Mom. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mom, Mama, I made it. How many songs, Tupac, Dear Mama? You know what I'm saying? How many songs there are out there that's dedicated to mama? You know what I'm saying? And there's only one song I can think of that's dedicated to daddy, and it's called Papa Was a Rolling Stone. You know what I'm saying? Oh, goodness. I'm in a group text of all the nights for them to be sending out group text. I forget to put my phone on silent because I apologize, y'all. Just ignore that. But again, there's a deep bond between a woman and her child. You know what I'm saying? And it's spiritual. They are tied. Their souls are tied together. You see what I'm saying? And the Lord tells us this, you know what I'm saying, that this is going to happen. He tells us that the Lord talks about this over in Genesis. Because if you look over in Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, and I'm going to read the King James version of it, it says, until the woman, he said, and now this was after Eve, you know what I'm saying, they touched the fruit, they ate the fruit or whatnot, and this is after Eve had ate the fruit, and you know what I'm saying, made the mistake or whatever, but the Lord put a curse on the woman. He said, until the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. So think about that. A lot of people don't catch that. He said, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. So again, most time when we read that or when we hear that verse, we read that verse, we think about the physical. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she's going to be upset because, this big old thing coming out of her hoo, it ain't going to never be the same again, and it hurts so much, and the pain she'll go through. No. That's not, when he's talking about in sorrow, that's not what he's talking about. Now, yes, that women do sorrow, in the beginning of the pregnancy, and now modern medicine, they don't even feel it. They just get an epidural and all that stuff and had a baby, and they don't even know they had the baby. I remember when Rez had our daughter Giselle, she didn't even know she had a baby. It was funny because they had her on so much stuff. But when it's saying that in sorrow, she's going to bring forth children, it's not just talking about the physicality of actually birthing the child. When it's talking about in sorrow, it's talking about that soul tie that their mother's going to have with their child. That if that child goes astray or that child do wrong, that mother, the sorrow that the mother's going to suffer. How many times as you as mothers, because I know most of the people over here as mothers, sit up crying because of a situation with your child that you can't do nothing about. Or you're in a situation where you want to do more for your child and you can't. Or you want to help your child and you can't. Or your child is doing something and it just tears away at your heart. You know what I'm saying? That's the sorrow it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because when he said that right there, when he said in sorrow they would bring forth children, what that was a curse. And the Lord cursed women. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said men, we can't get nowhere near this. Women are cursed. When they have children, they are actually cursed with unconditional love for their children. And that's, if you're like, curse, you should want that. No, that it's a curse because no matter what their children do, let me say this, real mothers. Let me say this, and we're going to get to the fake ones in here in a little bit. But real mothers that really have their soul tied with their children, they put their all online, put their all in their children, that's a curse. They have that curse of unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? And that's why women that didn't want to have children, you know what I'm saying, they can, and they end up having children, that because of that curse, it changes them. You know what I'm saying? Once because that curse kicks in and they had that baby, they didn't want to have that baby, then that curse kicked in and it changed them completely. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Some of the women that I know that did want to have children, when they had children, they became some of the best mothers I knew. You know what I'm saying? They was some of the best ones, the main ones that didn't want to have, and that's why I said, like, even with that couple I was telling you about earlier, one of the main ones didn't want to have children, is one of the best mothers I know. You know what I'm saying? I had another friend of mine that was kind of the same situation. Now, she didn't want to have children because she didn't want to have children. She didn't want to have children because she had such a checkered past, and she had been through so much, and she was, you know what I'm saying, addicted to drugs and alcohol and things, and she had did a lot of stuff in her life, and hell, it was back in my bad days, so I did a lot of the bad stuff with her, you know what I'm saying? So she felt that she was so, you know, polluted or corrupted from all the drugs and alcohol that she had taken in a, you know what I'm saying, in a past life, that she didn't feel like she was worthy of being a mother. She didn't think she could be a mother. And I remember her literally crying to me when she got pregnant, saying like she thinks how much of a terrible mother she's going to be. She's like, there's no way I can possibly be a good mother to this child. And she was so terrified of what to expect when the child got here. I mean, crying, like we talked several times, she was crying, boo-hoo crying because she didn't think she would be a great mother. But guess what, y'all? She had that baby, and instantly that curse kicked in, or the whatever you want to call it, the maternal instincts kicked in. And I'm telling y'all, she got 2 kids now. And one of the best, I mean, completely changed who she is. Completely changed. To me, I'm still, you know, I'm the preacher, but I'm still a little rough around the edges. And I mean, it changed so much. Like when I talk to her, you know what I'm saying? You know how when you're adults, you say you go take a bathroom, you know, take a dump, or you take, you know, say the S word. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and I say, you know, I'm still, like I said, I'm still roughing around the edges. I say the S word, it's like, the kids are there, you know, say potty. You know what I'm saying? She'll correct me like I'm one of her kids or something. And I mean, she's completely, a whole completely different person. And like I said, one of the most wonderful mothers that I ever knew. Why? Because that you're built for that. You know, women are built for that. And that's why I said earlier, you know, like I said, I mentioned earlier, women that don't get to have children, man, I just feel you're not living up to your full potential if you never had a child. You never been in a situation. Now I know, you know, dudes, especially dudes these days, you might not have had a situation where you with somebody you want to have children with. And that's why I say I empathize for you. You know, and the women that especially women that want to have children, it just never happened, maybe because of you know, some kind of defect. So I empathize for you. But man, I'm telling you, it's one of the most wonderful thing that a woman can have. You know what I'm saying? And I believe for a woman, you know what I'm saying, to a child, it's just, it's so crazy, because I believe a woman loves her child. And you know, this is gonna be kind of weird, you know what I'm saying, but listen, hear me out. I believe when we look at, you know, we always trying to see pictures of God. We try to understand God's love. And that's why a lot of people don't have a relationship with God, because they don't really understand God's love. You know what I'm saying? I talk about whenever somebody asks me, I can't tell y'all how many times I've been asked, so you telling me if Hitler, you know what I'm saying, died and he got saved, that he's going to get into heaven after killing 6 million Jews? And I tell them, yes. And they're like, well, I can't serve a God like that. I said, the reason why you can't serve a God like that, because you don't understand God's love. God's love is unconditional. And the moment somebody truly repent and turn their heart back to God, he's going to accept them. And see, that's, I believe, a woman's love, you know, and the point I was trying to make was, you know what I'm saying, when we try to look for pictures of God's love and try to truly understand God's love, I think the closest thing that we can get as humans on this earth to seeing God's love is the love a woman has for her child. I think that's about as close as we can get. The love a woman has for a child, and that still ain't close. You know, that still ain't nowhere really near how God loves us. But it's about the best example that we will have when you think about Mama Bear and things of that nature. The love a woman has for a child, the love a mother has for a child, I think that's the closest we can see example that we have, the best example that we have of God's love. I really do believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that love that the woman has for the child once she has that baby, and she has that soul to that baby. You know, that love is the reason why we have y'all heard the saying, man, you got a face on a mother could love. You know what I'm saying? That's where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? I've been told that a couple of times, kind of hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Got a face on a mother love. Like, hold on, what you mean by that? But you know what I'm saying? But I've been told that a couple of times because of a mother's love, because a mother's love is so deep. You see what I'm saying? A mother's love is so deep, and that's what we got to understand, because, and now again, a real mother, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about these fake mamas, these mamas that go shaking their boot at the club every weekend, drop the kids off and run out chasing Tom, Dick, and Harry. I'm talking real mothers. A real mother's love, they gonna love that child no matter what. No matter what, they love that child. That child can be bad. You know what I'm saying? That child can grow up and be horrible. I've seen it so many times. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know when I started my ministry, I started working in a jail. And I can't tell you how many dudes in the jail and in and out of jail. And every time they go in, their mama come bail them out. You know what I'm saying? Putting her house up, putting her house up for collateral, putting her car up for collateral. Whatever she can do to help that child, she don't care. Now, dad like, oh, no, you got one time miss on me. Dad like, ain't my child. You know what I'm saying? Ain't my child. You know what I'm saying? But a mother, she don't care. She's going to love that little knucklehead child, no matter how much stress he put her through, no matter how many nights he keeps her up crying, no matter how many nights he keeps her on her knees praying, she's going to love that child. I saw that with my grandmother and one of my uncles. My uncle's an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? The bad alcohol. That's why I don't drink. A lot of people ask me like, why I don't drink? Because this dude, he ruined drinking for me. Now, I drank a little bit when I was in college, but I never drank to get drunk. Like, I would drink like one beer or something like that, but I never drank to get drunk. And it's because my uncle, when he was sober, the nicest guy you will ever meet in your life. But when he was drunk, he was the meanest son of a gun this side of the Mississippi. And man, he would come in and he would curse my grandma out and call her all kind of B's and H's. And he just completely degrade her. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what? And you know what she would do? She would get on knees, start praying for him and crying for him and praying for him. And eventually he'd tired, go to sleep and wake up the next day and she'd make him breakfast. I could not understand that. That nigga would have had one time to do that in my house and that was going to be it. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be it. You know what I'm saying? I actually had, y'all know I'm not perfect. I got my oldest son. He has a drinking problem. And I've done everything I can to help him. I got in the rehabs. You know what I'm saying? I took him because me being a drug counselor, I've taken him to rehab and everything. And you know what I'm saying? And 3 different rehabs, none of them seemed to work. And then finally he came to my house back in, this is like September, acting a fool because he had got drunk. I had called the police on him. And he's still sitting in jail to this day. You know what I'm saying? And, and initially, because my wife was upset because he acted a fool in our house and got out on my daughter's face. He acted a fool. And the reason why I called him, put him in jail, because if I didn't put him in jail, I was going to go to jail. I was about to put my hands on him. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to do that because I got y'all. I can't be preaching y'all from jail. They don't let me get Facebook in jail. So I had to, let my spirit take over, not my flesh. So, to put him in jail. You know what I'm saying? That was back in September. And initially my wife, she was right there with me. She was upset because he acted a fool. He was on his last straw. But then, a couple of months ago, now she missing him. You know what I'm saying? Now she, calling, put some money on the phone so she can talk to him. And she goes to visit him like every week. You know what I'm saying? And I love him. I've talked to him. She's had a call, like a video call, and I talk to him. And then I don't love him. But, you know what I'm saying? To me, I'm like, man, look, until you get your stuff together, you know what I'm saying? I can't mess with you. But not mom. Mom love him. She go visit him. You know what I'm saying? Send them pictures of the kids and all that stuff because that's a mother's love. I don't care how many times that child disappoint that mom is going to love that child because that's a mother's love. That's that bond. That's that bond and sorrow. When the Lord said they're going to have the conception and sorrow, that's what he's talking about. That's that curse of that unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? If a child has special needs, that mama love that child. You know what I'm saying? I worked for about 2.5 years, I believe. It was at least 2 years, maybe 3, close to 3 years. But I worked for like 3 years with people with mental handicap, mental retardation. I don't know the PC term. Y'all don't have to forgive me. I don't know the PC term. When I work with, they call people with mental retardations. You know what I'm saying? But the moms, they were still coming there and see their kids. Now, some of them were like so bad that they had to be cared for 24 hours. So it was basically like a nursing home for them. But they still came with their kids and, you know what I'm saying, brought them clothes and spent time with them. And they love those kids. You know what I'm saying? They love those kids. If the kid's ugly, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They always, I know y'all seen it, and I might just be a terrible person, and y'all just pray for me. But there's several people on my Facebook, and I'm not going to say no names because I don't know if they watch my videos, but they be posting pictures of their kids. They're like, oh my gosh, like, who put that little monkey in some baby clothes? They're like, oh, that's their kid. Like, oh, my bad, oh my goodness. And they be like, oh, look at my precious little baby. You know what I'm saying? He's so cute or she's so cute. And I'm like, man, that baby's ugly. Oh my gosh, that baby look horrible. But again, that's where the turn come from. You know what I'm saying? You got a face on a mother can love. Because the mothers, they just have that bond. They only see the beauty in that child. Even if that child look like the nigga that messed them over. You know what I'm saying? I used to get that all the time. My mom used to get mad at me because me and my dad look so much. Cause we got strong genes in our family. So, you know what I'm saying? So I look just like my dad that looked well before he got on this stuff. But I look just like him. And she used to get mad at me because I look like the nigga. You know, I can't do nothing. That's genetics. What can I do about that? But I mean, she'll get mad at me sometimes because I look just like them. You know, kind of thing. And Reds do with our kids because my oldest daughter and my youngest son, they look exactly like me. So she's like, get out of me because you look just. I make her mad and she don't want to be around them because they look just like me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and of course she mess with them, but she still loves them. And that's my thing is, man, a mother's love is phenomenal. It's nothing, and like I said, nothing compares to the love a mother has for a child. And like I said, the closest thing that I think that we get to seeing the love of God and understanding the love of God is the love that a woman has for a child. You know what I'm saying? And that's strong. And I remember talking about loving a baby even though a nigga did it wrong. I remember I worked with this lady at Taco Bell. I never forget. This is the only time I've ever come across this. But it was a lady at Taco Bell, and she had a kid, and she was like, I can tell she was like in turmoil about this kid. And I talked to her one day because it's like one minute she love the kid, one minute she don't, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And y'all know me, I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of it. And I remember talking to her one day, and she like, and I'm like, no, what's the issue? It's like you got this love-hate relationship with this kid. She said, yeah, because he don't look like me, which means he look like his daddy. And I'm like, well, no, maybe her and her dad had a really bad relationship or whatever. She said, no, she's like, I was raped. She's like, literally, I was walking down, walking home one day, and some guy just came from behind, snatched me up, put a knife to my neck, and pulled me in the alley and raped me and got me pregnant. And so she's like, and you know what I'm saying? And she's like, but I couldn't. She's like, I wanted to get rid of the baby. I wanted to get rid of, you know what I'm saying, have an abortion, but I just couldn't. She said, but at the same time, sometimes I just look at him and he looks nothing like me. He has no features out of anybody in my family. So I know he looks just like his daddy. So she said, you know, so she's like, you know, sometimes I get conflicted because she's like, sometimes I want to just put him up for adoption and get rid of him. She's like, but at the same time, I can't. See what I'm saying? Why? Because that's that unconditional love. That's that curse. And really, you know, I know man like, well, she's a bad mom. No, she's a good mom. You know what I'm saying? Because she's actually giving into that spiritual connection that she has with that child. And that's why I say, that's why the Bible say that you're going to have, bring forth child in sorrow. I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine being in that situation, having to take care of a child that you weren't in a relationship. It ain't a situation where you messed up, you was in a relationship and you was out there laying on your back and you slipped up. No, like this is something that was completely forced on you. But yet that bond she had with that child was so strong that she couldn't get away from it. See what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking. That's a mother's love. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, to men, we can't do that. We can't love a ugly baby. You get that little ugly son gun away from me. You know what I'm saying? We can't love, you know what I'm saying, no bad children. Like when things ain't going our way, you know what I'm saying, or they not doing what we expected, or they disappoint us, we don't want nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? But not mama. Mom, you don't care. I don't care how hard you are. I don't care what a knuckle you are. You know what I'm saying? People love mama. People call her mama. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that one video? Y'all remember? I don't know if y'all saw it. Where one guy in Memphis, he got beat to death. The police beat this dude to death. And I remember it was a whole big stink over it. But they beat this dude to death, and they played the video when they were beating him, and the dude was yelling out for this was a criminal, and you know he was yelling out for his mama, and people made fun of that. People made fun. Oh man, he's supposed to be a thug, and he, you know, getting his butt, he crying out for his mama. It's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? He wanted that comfort of his mama, and they end up killing that dude. You know what I'm saying? It was a reason for that because, like I said, that tie is so deep. It's a spiritual tie, and that's why I say a man could never be a mother. They trying to do that with this transgender. Man, we're not built like that. We're not built to have that connection, to have that spiritual tie that women have, which help our society go in the way it do because the mothers are nurturing those babies and teaching them and guiding them in the direction they need to go. And see, a man can't do that, but a woman, man, is y'all doing, and it makes sense. There's another quote. When I was doing the research for this, another quote I saw by this, I think it's a native, it could be a man, but it said Joan Ryan. It sounded like a woman's quote, but she said this, and it makes sense when I look at that, how a mother can love a child regardless and a man can't, because it says a motherhood is about raising Motherhood is about raising and celebrating the child you have, not the child you thought you would have. That's deep, because I know there's a lot of When I get mad at my kids, or you know what I'm saying, or get disappointed, it's because I thought they should be doing this. I thought with the way I raised you, with the way I hustled, with the life I gave you, you should be doing this and that and that and that. You know what I'm saying? And I hold them accountable for what I thought they should be doing. But my wife, she don't do that. She loves them regardless. No matter where they at, no matter what they doing, she loves them. And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's a love of a woman. That's something only a mother could do, only a woman can do. Somebody with two X chromosomes can do. Dude playing dress over the XY chromosome, he can't do that task. It's impossible. We dads can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's something only a mother can do, and that's why motherhood is under such attack, because there's a spiritual connection there with that child that she can't really can't do nothing like real mothers. You know what I'm saying? Really can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we forget that bond between mother and child, it goes beyond, like I said, the physical. It's more spiritual. You know what I'm saying? And there was another quote I found. Like I said, I got all kind of quotes off the internet when I was putting it together. Like I said, I wanted to make sure I come from the right angle, and nobody's corrected me so far, so I'm guessing I'm on a good path. But I mean, this is from experience of me dealing with women. I deal with a lot of single moms and things like that. Ministers to a lot of single moms. My mom was a single mom. My grandma raised me, so I've dealt with a lot. So like I said, I think I got a pretty good perspective on it. I think the Lord has given me this, but I want to do some research as well. And so when you think about it, why is motherhood is such an attack? Because we're living in what seemed like the last days. We're definitely living in some dark days. There's spiritual weakness in high places, and they're not even hiding themselves. I mean, you can look at it in the celebrities around. So when you look at that, you can understand why motherhood is under such attack, because again, it's a spiritual thing. And this quote said this. I found this quote. I'm like, man, this is deep. I definitely had to throw this in the lesson. It says this. It says, and again, I found on the internet. I can't get a proper person credit, but it's a wonderful quote. It says, with Eve as the first woman, God instituted the calling of motherhood as an active, worshipful, missional way of living the biblical narrative in Genesis. I'm sorry. I misquoted it. Hold on, let me read that again. It said, with Eve as the first woman, God instituted the calling of motherhood as an active, worshipful, missional way of living. The biblical narrative in Genesis states clearly that before, here you go. This is what he said. And then I said, this is why it's on attack. This is why we got the transgender people saying men can be women and all this. This is why it's on attack. He said, the biblical narrative in Genesis states clearly that before motherhood is about women or children, motherhood is about God. See there? So that's why motherhood is the way it is. That's why motherhood is a spiritual thing. And we forget that. We only think about the physical and we forget about the spiritual. So when you look at the rate that women has abandoned motherhood, why? And when you look at how a majority of our society, majority of our women rather go into the corporate world and rather get jobs and rather chase a bag and do this, do that, than be a mother, it kind of shows where our society is at. And it makes sense because it's spiritual. And we're in spiritual darkness right now. When you look at how easily women just abandon their children. You know what I'm saying? Some dude come along and wink at them and they throw their kids off on their mom, or sometimes they don't even do that. They just leave them at the house by themselves and go chase some dude. Like I said, like my grandma used to say, out there chasing Tom, Dick, and Harry. When you look at the ease, you know what I'm saying? Look up the ease of women being able to do that. It shows where we at spiritually. And the worst one, when you look up the rate of abortions, you know what I'm saying, that was going on. We look at the rate of abortion that occurs on the daily basis. Now, I'm not sure. When I remember the last time I got this number, it was a little while ago. Like I said, I did this lesson about 3 years ago. But when I did this lesson 3 years ago, the rate was 300 a day abortions. Mothers killing their children. So, you know what I'm saying, the fact that they're able to have that and think none of it, when we got all these abortion pills and stuff they can take to kill the children, it shows that we no longer have that spiritual connection. The mothers no longer have that spiritual connection with their children anymore because we've gotten so far away from God. And that's what it really shows when you look at the state of motherhood, when you look at the attack, when you look at, like I said, women abandoning their purpose as mothers these days, it's because it's under attack. You know what I'm saying? It's because motherhood is under attack because it's a spiritual thing. And it really goes to show you just how far we've gotten away from God. So that's why I want to do this lesson tonight. I want to look at, and she really only got a small paragraph in this whole little section of 14 verses. But man, it's just, I noticed other mothers I could have looked at. I could have looked at Mary, of course, the mother of God, Jesus, God, you know what I'm saying? But I want to look at this woman because what she did to me was just phenomenal. She was put in a bad situation because of what her husband did, and she ended up, but she showed what it means to truly be a mother. You know what I'm saying? She showed the true epitome of motherhood. So I'm gonna read this. It's 14 verses. And like I said, she only got one little small verse. So all of this is not going to deal with motherhood. So what I did, I'm not going to preach all of them, all these points. I'm going to bring these little points out that really have nothing to do with motherhood, just to let y'all know. But it's because I want to get to this section. So I got 12 little things that I saw as I read through this. But they don't all focus on motherhood. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. But I want to get to this point, what this lady did, and these just little things I can't just pass them over, just read through and pass them over. So I'm gonna talk about it real quick, but I'm not gonna really preach them. So I know y'all like, man, Brother John, you better get through 3 in one night. How you gonna get through 12? Because I'm not gonna preach them. I'm just gonna kind of bring them out there and maybe make a statement or so. But I want to get to what this woman did, this mother did, and I think it was just what she did was so phenomenal to me, and it was to me again, it was the epitome of what it means to be a mother. So now I'm going to get over to 2 Samuel chapter 21, and I'm going to start reading verse 1, and I'm going to go through 14. And like I said, I'm going to pull 12 different things out. They don't necessarily have nothing to do with motherhood, but it's a little thing I was seeing as I read through, and I'm just going to highlight them, but I'm not going to really preach them. So again, if you got your Bibles, we're in 2 Samuel 21, verses 1 through 14. Of course, I'm going to read out the New Living Translation. So if you're reading and you're not saying the same thing I'm saying, is because I'm reading out the New Living Translation. Even though I am a King James believer, I do my lessons out the New Living Translation. Just makes it easier for me. So we go over here in chapter 21, verse 1. The Lord tells us this. He says, so there was a famine during David's reign that lasted for 3 years. So David asked the Lord about it. So that right there, like I said, just little tidbits in this. It has nothing to do with motherhood, but little tidbits in here that I want to kind of point out to you guys. So the first one is right here. It says, so there was a famine going on for 3 years, and David went to the Lord, and that lasted for 3 years. So David asked the Lord about it. So the first little thing that I saw here in these little sections was, when you feel your blessings are running dry, go to the source of all blessings. And that's what David did. And that was the one thing that made David such a great king. That's one thing that made David the guy that the Lord called, said was a man after my own heart, is because everything he did in his situation that arose, in the problem that he was in, he went to the Lord. He went to the Lord about it. You know what I'm saying? So number one, like I said, when you feel your blessings are running dry, go to the source of all blessings. Go to God. When your blessings come, when things ain't going right, it seems like you can't get ahead. It seems like you get 2 steps ahead and push 4 steps back. Go to the Lord and talk to the Lord and find out what's going on. And that's what David did. So the next verse said, and the Lord said, the famine has come because Saul and his family are guilty of murdering the Gibeonites. So number two thing I found out, be aware of the effect of sins. You know what I'm saying? Be aware of the effect of sin. I've done a lesson on this before. I think it was a couple of lessons back. I can't remember if it was in the Trash or Treasure lesson or the Faith, the Victory lesson, but I've done it recently. But I talked about the influence that you have in the mind. I think it was in one of those. I think it was in the Faith to Get the Victory lesson that I did, which was the series that I did. But I just talked about the effect of sin, the influence that sin has in your life, and the influence it has for those that comes behind you, especially when you're in a leadership position. You know what I'm saying? When Saul was in a leadership position, he was a king. You know what I'm saying? So he did this dumb thing that he did, and because of what he did, his family and the people that's come behind him is going to have to suffer for it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I think I know I shared with y'all, there was a situation where Eli was a priest, and he had 2 sons that was pretty horrible dudes. You know what I'm saying? And they were supposed to be the priests, so they were supposed to be like protecting God's sacrifices and being an example of what it means to follow God. And they was doing stuff like raping the virgins. Well, not raping them. They were seducing the virgins. They were stealing the sacrifices. They were doing all kind of crazy stuff. You know, and Eli never did correct them. And the Lord got on him about it, and basically he confronted him about it and said, because you never corrected your sons, because you putting your sons over me, then, you know what I'm saying, he put this curse on me, like none of your people in your generation going to get old and they're not going to be able to serve the priesthood no more. And he put all these things on them. And everybody that came after Eli, all the generations, they end up being in a bad situation because something they father did. So you have to understand, you got to be aware of the effect of sins. Sin don't just affect you, it affects everybody around you. It affects everybody in your world. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in a situation where you're a mom. You know what I'm saying? If you're a mom, how many times have we seen that constant cycle of abuse? You know what I'm saying? And promiscuity because little girls watching their moms be mess with every guy, again, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. My grandma used to always say that, that's why I'm using that. But you know what I'm saying, chasing every Tom, Dick, and Harry, having different dudes over all the time, doing the stuff that the child can hear the stuff, seeing the guys, the way the guys treat the mom and the abuse the mom go through, and then they end up growing up and they going through the same stuff. See, that sin has an effect. Especially, you know what I'm saying, if you're in a situation where you have people under you. You know what I'm saying, you're in a situation of authority. Though I told y'all, you know what I'm saying, earlier when I was joking about me, you know, with my son, I had to think I'm in a position of authority. So I can't react like everybody else react. I gotta think. I gotta try to think first, at least try. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now sometimes my flesh give me. It does. But I gotta try to think beyond my flesh and this moment and realize like, hey, I have an influence on people's lives. And if I make a bad decision, it's gonna not just affect me and my family, it's gonna affect everybody that's following me as well. So be aware again of the effect that sin has on people. The more influence that you have, the more people that's going to be affected by your actions. And Saul was a king and he did this thing. And because he did this thing, even though now at this point Saul is dead, he's dead and gone. But because he did this thing, generations, 2 or 3 generations behind him is going to have to suffer for what he did. No, it's only one generation because David's still king. So it's just the next generation behind him, even though he's dead, is going to have to suffer. So again, that's just number 2, not to do with motherhood, but just a point that I wanted to put out as I was reading through this. I can't just go through all this goodness and not give it to y'all. So then in verse 2 it says, so King David summoned the Gibeonites, and they were not part of Israel, but were all that was left of the nation of the Amorites. Israel had sworn not to kill them, but Saul in his zeal had tried to wipe them out. So just a little background so y'all understand, like, especially when you get to what's about to happen. This is one of those stories, and I meant to say this before I began. This is one of those messed up stories in the Bible. You know, I'll be a liar if I sit here and say that it ain't no messed up stuff in the Bible. It's some, excuse me, y'all, sorry. There's some messed up stuff that happens in the Bible. And this is one of those messed up stories. Like, man, that is messed up. I can't believe that happened. You know, it happens. And this is one of those stories. But what happened with this story, what he talked about the Gibeonites, so just give you a little background so y'all understand what Saul did. So if y'all remember, if you know your Bible, when Joshua and the Israelites first came into the land, they came in, they started whooping everybody's butt. They, first it started with Jericho, then they whooped Ai, then they whooped all like the southern kings and all the northern kings, and they were just whooping everybody's butts. So there was this particular group that, and the Lord said, everybody that's within a certain proximity of what Israel gonna be, they had to take them out. You know what I'm saying? You can't make friends with them. It ain't no, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no bargaining with them. Everybody that's gonna be close to proximity of the nation of Israel, you got to take them out. You know, so they was killing everybody. They was killing everybody, burning everything. They was doing all that stuff. So there was this group of people called the Gibeonites, and what they did, they tricked the Israelites. So what they did was, they was actually, I think they was on like 2 or 3 days journey from where Israel was. So they was pretty close. So they was ones that was supposed to be destroyed. But what they did was they went to the Israelites, and what they did, they put on like old clothes, and they took some bread that was old and moldy, and they took like some wine skins that was all old and aged, and they just made it look like they had been on this like long journey. And they came to Joshua and the Israelites. They're like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? We stayed way far away from y'all. You know what I'm saying? When we left home, this bread was fresh, and now look at it, it's molded, and these wine skins was brand new, and that wore out, and our sandals, and they just made a big old show of it that made it look like they had been traveling for like, days and months and years to get there, when really it was just 3 days. So anyway, long story short, instead of the Israelites doing what they're supposed to be doing and with the God, to ask God, should they, you know what I'm saying? So, well, I'm sorry. So basically, Gibeonites, they're like, well, we traveled here and we went through all this because we want to make a pact with y'all. You know what I'm saying? We know the Lord is blessing y'all, and we know the Lord is giving y'all this land, and we just want to make sure we're safe. We are far away from y'all. Y'all ain't got to worry about us. We don't just make a pact. So, and so instead of the Israelites going to God and ask God, like, hey, should we make a pact with these people? They like, oh, well, you know, they do look like they've been traveling for a while and they're not close. So, you know, we'll go ahead and make a pact with them. So they made the pact with the people, and then turns out they found out a couple days later that these dudes really live like next door to them. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, they went out and they like, man, why did y'all lie to us? You know, y'all said y'all was from a far land, and it turns out you stay next door. And they was like, man, look, we knew God was, you know what I'm saying, gave y'all this land, and we wanted to save ourselves, so that's why we did it. You know what I'm saying? So since the Israel had already made a vow in the eyes of God, they couldn't destroy the Gibeonites. So you're like, well, we can't destroy you because we already made this vow to you between in the eyes of God. So, but you're going to be our slaves, and you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to chop wood and do all that stuff. So they end up making a pact with them when they were supposed to. So fast forward, when King Saul came in, he thought it'd be a great idea to go and destroy him, even though Israel had made that pact with him. So you can see, because Israel had made that pact with them and Saul destroyed them, the Lord was punishing Israel because of it. Because it said they had a famine during David reign the last 3 years. That's a long time to go through a famine. It's a lot of people died in there, and there's a lot of prosperity and property that was lost in there. You know what I'm saying? So it was this wasn't an easy thing. This wasn't a simple slap on the hand. God was really coming down on them, and it's because Saul had did this thing. So that's what this, and I gave out of the background to let y'all know what he's talking about. When he said, no, the Lord, he said Israel had sworn not to kill them, but Saul in his zeal had tried to wipe them out. So that's gonna give us our number 3 point. I just want to give y'all the background of the story, and that's gonna be us our number 3 point. You know what I'm saying? God is going to hold you accountable for any vow that you made to him. So it's best not to make any vow at all. And that's actually one I just taught on that like a couple of weeks ago. I know that was a recent lesson I did. So though I say I'm not going to preach these things, but they are in here. You know what I'm saying? They are in here. And we see what God holding the Israelites accountable for this vow they made to the Joshua made to. Now this is hundreds of years later. This is later, because when they made that vow, that was during Joshua's time. So this is way later, after they had made it, but God still held them accountable because they made their vow. So again, just a quick point. God's going to hold you accountable for any vow that you make to him. So it's best not to make any vows at all. And like I said, I did a lesson on that a few weeks ago. Y'all can go back and watch that lesson. But it just shows you that when you be a man, you need to be a man or a woman in your word. When you say you're going to do something, you need to do it. And especially when it comes to things of vows, making vows in the name or in front of God, because God is going to hold you accountable. And that's what's going on here. That's why the Israelites is going through this famine, because God is holding them accountable for the vow that they made not to destroy the Gibeonites, and Saul went and tried to destroy them anyway. So then the next verse, it says, David asked them, what can I do for you to make amends? Tell me, so that the Lord will bless his people again. So that's going to bring us to number 4. Point number 4 is, when the Spirit shows you that you wronged someone, make amends as soon as possible. If you know you did somebody dirty, when the Spirit shows you done somebody dirty, when you participate in something that caused somebody some hurt, maybe they had some kind of loss, when you realize your part in it, go apologize. You know what I'm saying? Make amends with that person as soon as you can. And that was David trying to do. Like, man, look, the Lord showed us what we did wrong. What can we do to make amends for it? You know what I'm saying? You got to do this sometimes. Like, I remember I had to do that. I remember one time my first chemistry job, I had got mad because I left the place, but I got mad. I was like, man, my supervisor was this and that, and he just didn't like me because he was a white guy, and I went on this whole little rant and tirade, you know what I'm saying? But after, I calmed down and came into my senses, and I really started looking back on it. I'm like, yes, he didn't do this and he didn't do that, but what did I do? And I really, when I looked at my actions, I had slacked off. I wasn't getting to work on time like I was supposed to. I wasn't doing the stuff that I was supposed to. So yes, he didn't promote me. Yes, because, I didn't have the same vigor for working there as I did when I first started. Now, when I first started, I was a monster. Don't get me wrong. But then, so I just got kind of lazy and got complacent. And I realized I wasn't working as hard as I used to. And I wasn't doing the things that I used to. And I realized, like, the way he treated me was in response to the way I was behaving. So I never forget. I ended up leaving because I knew, well, my heart is not in this place no more. I'm going to go ahead and leave. But I did apologize to that supervisor because I, basically, talk bad about him. Not necessarily to like a lot of people because we ain't had the internet and stuff. It ain't like I get on the internet. But to anybody that knew me, I was always ranting and raving and talking. And he never heard it. He never heard it, but I heard it and I knew I did it. And I remember reading one time when it's talking about, it was saying like, if you about to make a sacrifice and you basically got some beef with somebody that you need to make amends. And I remember reading that and I was like, man, before I can really sacrifice to the Lord and give my heart to the Lord, I need to make amends. And I went back and apologized to that boss for talking. I told him what I said and I apologized for it. And we good friends to this day. He actually told me, like, man, I can't believe John did that. And we good friends to this day because I did that. So, So again, when you've done somebody wrong and you've done somebody wrong and the Spirit touches your heart about it, go ahead and make amends. Because what you don't realize is if you don't, you'll be blocking your blessings. And because David was trying to make amends because right now his blessings was being blocked because Saul did these Gibeonites wrong. And now David had nothing to do with it. But now that the Lord has showed him what the problem was, he's trying to make amends. So then the next line he says, now, well, money won't do it. The Gibeonites replied. So let's give on Numbers 5. Money is not the solution to your problems, but a close relationship with the Lord is. This world teaches us so much that money is the solution to everything. If you have money, you're going to all your problems go away. But in reality, it's just like what Biggie said. The more money you have, the more problem you have. You know what I'm saying? The more money, he said, the more money I see, the more money I have, the more problem I see. And that's really what happens. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to get rid of your problem, you really want to have peace in your life, then you need to have a close relationship with the Lord. And that's what, that's what these, now again, that's not what they're saying, but they're saying money ain't going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Money ain't going to solve all problems. I remember, I know in Ecclesiastes, one of my favorite verses in Ecclesiastes, he says, it says something to the fact, he said, money can get you wherever you want. And so is wisdom, but only wisdom can save your life. It's something that I'm misquoting that, but you look it up. That way you can get in the Bible. But he said something about money and wisdom can get you what you want in life, but only wisdom can save your life. Because money can't solve all problems. So just remember that. Again, these just little things. I'm trying to get to this lady, so that's why I'm shooting through them. And y'all see I'm already on point number 6, so y'all know that's rare. So I'm just shooting through little things that I'm picking out as I'm going through this. So then he said, well, money won't do it. The Gibeonites replied. And he said, and we don't want to see the Israelites executed in revenge. So number six thing that I saw as we go through this little story, seek forgiveness instead of revenge for those that have wronged you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when somebody do us wrong, somebody that messed us over, we feel somebody that stabbed us in the back or whatever, the first thing we want to do, we want to get revenge. And these days, everybody want to jump on Facebook and post it and tell the whole world about what's going on. But the first thing we should do, we should seek forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Instead of revenge. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I've had a lot of wrong happen to me in my life. I had a lot of people screw me over literally. You know what I'm saying? When I think about when I was molested as a child by these two different men. You know what I'm saying? For the longest, I was upset at those guys. And, I was wishing evil upon those guys. But now, man, I pray for them all the time. I haven't talked to them. I haven't, you know what I'm saying? Of course, they avoid me because they know that I tell people what they did, so they don't avoid me. I haven't talked to them. But, if one of them did reach out to me and want to talk and apologize, I would listen. You know what I'm saying? And if they said they was unsaved and they wanted to hear the gospel, I would share the gospel with them. You know what I'm saying? Seek forgiveness. And because when you do that, you're acting like a child of God. You think Jesus went upset when they was driving them nails through his hands? But what did he say? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. You know what I'm saying? He was there in pain and agony, but he was praying for them. So you have to forgive them. You know what I'm saying? Seek forgiveness instead of revenge. You know, so I actually had an opportunity this past Friday. I was pulling to the gas station. I was cutting my grass and I had to go get some gas. And it turns out, y'all know, because I made the announcement earlier, but I got fired from my main job exactly like 2 months ago. And I was putting in the gas station, and the guy that was my former boss that fired me, he was putting in too, and I don't think he saw me. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I started getting my flesh. I started to run up there and punch him in the back of his head, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Now, I didn't go over and speak to him neither. I don't want to be fake and be cordial with him. But, you know what I'm saying? I ain't say nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? He went on about his business. I went on about my business. You know what I'm saying? And my flesh wanted me to go do something. I want to go punch him in the back of his head because I felt he did me wrong and did me dirty. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in this point, seek forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? I forgave him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bitter about it, but I forgave him and I put it in God's hand and I moved on. So that's what they said. They didn't want revenge. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want any revenge for what happened. They don't say they was all about forgiveness. So then David asked him, he said, what can I do then? David asked, just tell me and I will do it for you. So again, that's a reference back to number 4. When the Lord has showed you, Spirit shows you that you wrong someone, make amends as soon as possible. So then in verse 5, it says, then they replied, it was Saul who planned to destroy us, to keep us from having any place at all in Israel. So let 7 of Saul's sons or grandsons be handed over to us, and we will execute them before the Lord at Gibeon on the mountain of the Lord. So now that's what get rough. So now, again, this is something Saul did. So that's a reference back to number 2. You got to be aware of the effect of sin. This is something Saul did, but because this now some of his grandsons and his whatever remaining sons he have left is going to have to pay for this situation that he's in. So again, that's a reference back to number 2. You got to be aware of the effect of sin because it affects everybody that comes behind you. But also going to be point number 7. The bad that you plan for others will come back to you. You know what I'm saying? We always reap what we sow. You know what I'm saying? He went out there and tried to destroy them. So now they coming back and they're going to basically kind of destroy his bloodline. So you got to understand, man, the bad that you plan for others, when you plan on doing bad for others, when you plan on doing bad to others and messing other people over, that's something I found out when I was younger. I used to have a situation when I was younger where I would always, we had different nights where we washed dishes. Like one night I would wash dishes and another night my cousin would wash dishes. And what I would try to do is, y'all, give me 1 second. I got to blow my nose. Sorry about that. But I'd rather blow it than have it running all down the screen. So what I would do is on his night, when I knew he had to wash dishes the next night, or my night, though we coordinate nights, I would try to leave stuff behind for him. And every single time I did that, somehow it would work out to where the very dishes that I end up leaving behind for him, I end up having to wash. And it wasn't because he was just so crafty and he did it. It was just like he ended up having to go somewhere or something. I ended up having to wash the dishes anyway. But something always popped up. And and that sounds simple, but I just realized at a young age that I noticed every time I try to leave something behind for him to kind of mess him over, it always gets me. So I learned a long time ago to just not try to mess over other people. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever I leave a trap for somebody else or try to mess somebody else over, it always bounces back on me. And Saul tried to mess these Gibeonites over, but now it's bouncing back on him and his bloodline. So they made this request that give us 7 of Saul's sons or grandsons to hand over to us to be executed. You know, so then David said, in the next line, David said, all right, the king said, I will do it. So again, reference back to number 4. So then in verse 7, David said, David spared Jonathan's son Mephibosheth, who was Saul's grandson, because of the oath that David and Jonathan had sworn before the Lord. So again, that's in verse 8. Talking about swearing and being a man of your word. So number 8 is this: be a man or woman of your word, especially when it comes to things of God. So again, if you make that vow, I told you earlier, don't make the vow. But if you do make that vow and you say you're going to do something, or you promise somebody you're going to do something, be a man or woman of your word. That's something, I talked about that a couple of weeks ago, but there's so many people that promise me, I promise you I'm going to look at your videos. I promise you I'm going to see your Facebook requests. I promise I'm going to do this. I promise I'm going to do that. And then they never do. I never hear from them. They never show up to the church. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. And we see here what David was keeping his word to Jonathan. Again, that's another Bible story. I'm not going to get into that. But he basically swore to Jonathan that, that he wouldn't destroy his bloodline and he would do everything that he can to protect his bloodline, and he would stand true to that oath. Now we're about to get to the meat. I'm going to show y'all what this woman did. So the next verse, so that was number 8. Again, these just little things. I'm not preaching those because it's not relevant to the message that I was talking about, but it's little things that I found out as I was going through here. That I saw what I was going through here. So again, number 8, be a man or woman of your word, especially when it comes to the things of God. So then the next verse he said, but he gave them Saul's 2 sons, Armoni and Mephibosheth. There was another Mephibosheth. There was another one, not the same one that David was protecting, whose mother was Rizpah, daughter of Ahiah. Now that's the lady. That's the lady of the hour. This is the one I wanted to get to. He said he also gave them 5 sons of Saul's daughter Merab, the wife of Adriel, son of Barzillai from Mahola. So number 9, the mothers. And this, like I said, this one, I think I got the spirit on it. And this one I can't attest to, but I've seen it happen over the years, and I'm pretty some of y'all can confirm what I'm saying. But number 9 is for mothers, The sorrow of motherhood is one of the true joys of life. And I know this sounds crazy, but again, the sorrows of motherhood is one of the true joys of life. You know what I'm saying? There's something that, like I said, y'all thrive in it. Y'all love y'all kids. Yes, it brings you sorrow, and you almost think y'all enjoy it. And of course, I'm not saying y'all enjoy being sorry because that means your kid is in a bad situation. But it's just something about that attachment there, that love you have for that child, that when things happen, like you can feel it. Like I've had situations, we've had situations where my boys, they say they never got any real trouble, but you know what I'm saying, maybe we may not have heard from them for a day, especially when they moved out on their own, and then heard from them, they maybe didn't send mama that hey, how you doing, text or whatever, and she always was able to feel it. She like, you know, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? They didn't got into trouble, they doing something. She was always able to feel that. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, so we talked to them like, oh yeah, we had this going on. And like I said, none of my other boys, other than my oldest son, for his drinking problem, have never really been in jail or anything. But they have been in some stupid situations. But that's all of us, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, the sorrows of motherhood is like a true joy. Like I said, yes, it brings you sorrow. Yes, it may give you a couple of gray hairs. But again, those are the things that y'all cherish. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that y'all hold into your heart. You know what I'm saying? When your child went through this thing and he came to you, you know what I'm saying, calling out to his mom. That's why I said when that police video, that boy being killed by the police, you know, he was calling out to his mama. I can only imagine what his mama went through when she saw that. You know what I'm saying? But those are the kind of things y'all remember when your kids going through some stuff and they call out to mama and they, you know, they fall and scrape their knee and they want mama to kiss it. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff. Those are the sorrows. That's what I was talking about. The sorrows of motherhood. It brings you true joy because you know that child, no matter how old they get, no matter how, you know what I'm saying, how wise they get, no matter how successful they get, they always need their mama. And I think you mothers love that. I think y'all thrive off of that. So that was number 9. You know what I'm saying? The sorrows of motherhood brings true joy to mothers. So the next verse, and I want to get to what she did. So the next verse says, so the men of Gibeon executed them on a mountain before the Lord. So all 7 of them died together at the beginning of the barley harvest. So again, there's a reference back to number 2. You got to realize what our sins does. You know what I'm saying? The effect that our sins have on people. So here we're going to get to it. Like I said, this whole one was just get to this. This is what this lady did, this lady Riz part. So watch what she did here. And like I said, to me, this is the true epitome. This is the true definition of what it means to be a mother. It shows the deepness of a mother love. This single act that this lady did. So they take the sons, they take the 7 sons, they take her 2 sons, and then 5 of her nephews. I guess they would be nephews. They would be nephews. Because she was a concubine of Saul, but 5 of the other relatives of Saul, and they, you know, kill them all. You know what I'm saying? They kill them all. They kill them on Gibeon, and they kind of like, as the way it seems, as we go to the story, they hung them and they just left them hanging there, and they left them hanging there for the entire harvest. So they just, you know, for months at a time, like, you know, harvest season usually about a month and a half, 2 months, something like that, harvest season, and just left them hanging there the whole time. So watch what this mother do because she has such a deep love for her son. So in verse 10, this is it right here. This is what I want to get to. So again, we saw the first part, the father's sin, what Saul did to put her in this situation. Now let's see this mother's love. Check out this mother's love. In verse 10, it says, now then Rizpah, after they hung the kids up, they killed the kids. It said, then Rizpah, the mother of 2 of the men, spread sackcloth on a rock. Excuse me. The Rizpah, the mother of 2 of the men, spread sackcloth on a rock and stayed there the entire harvest season. She prevented the vultures from tearing at their bodies during the day and stopped the wild animals from eating them at night. That's a mother's love. That's what I want to do. I hope y'all hung in there because I know it's been a while. That's mother's love right there. They were dead. You know what I'm saying? They was dead. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they were going to feel what was going on, but she loved her boys so much. She was in so much sorrow that she refused to let anything touch them. She said she stayed there. And like I said, it didn't say she built a house there. It didn't say she, made her a little tent there and watched them day and night. No, she sat on a rock for the entire harvest season. Like I said, harvest season, it can go anywhere between a month and a half, 2.5 months. It depends on what they're harvesting and how big the harvest is. But it was months. She was out there for weeks at a time. And it said she was protecting them day and night. So that means she wasn't even really sleeping. Now, I don't know if she maybe had somebody come and watch her while she took a nap during the day or what, but that's how deep her connection with her kids were. That's how deep her sorrow was because her boys was taken because of what their dad did. But she sat there on a rock for months defending her children. So that's going to give us point number 9. Number 10. A mother, and this is really the main point of the whole thing. A mother's love, and like I said, and I said this earlier in the introduction, a mother's love is as close as we can get to godliness in this world. And it's still far off. Like that now, no, I say close as we can get. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we can ever, as human beings, can ever fully understand the deepness of God's love. We can never do that. But as close as we can get is a mother's love. And we see that she displayed that. You know what I'm saying? She day and night protecting them, and they're dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is, but she didn't want their bodies to be defiled. She didn't want their bodies to be, you know what I'm saying, torn to shreds. She didn't want the animals just laying there. So she sat there and protected those dead bodies for months. That is insane. That is a mother's love right there. That is a mother's love. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say the mother's love is so pivotal in our society. If y'all notice, a lot of times when God is talking about Israel, and he's talking about protecting Israel, and he's talking about protecting, blessing Israel, you notice a lot of times he makes a reference to the love of a mother. You know what I'm saying? There was one verse where he talks about, he said, he was talking to Israel, he said, how often did I want to gather you under my wings just as a mother hen gathers her chicks? You know what I'm saying? A lot of time when God is explaining his caring abilities and the way he cares for us and the way he loves us, he always references the love of a mother toward a child. He always does that. God himself used women as an example of what it means to truly love. And see what I'm saying? That's why I say a mother's love is as close as we can get to godliness in this world. And that mother's love is so important because watch what it's going to do. So in the next verse it says, now when David learned what Rizpah, Saul's concubine, had done. Now you got to think about David and Saul were basically enemies. You know what I'm saying? Because Saul was trying to kill David all the time. He was basically enemy, he said so. But when David learned what Rizpah, Saul's concubine, had done, he went to the people of Jabesh Gilead and asked for the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan. Now, when Saul and Jonathan had died in a battle with the Philistines, it was the people of Jabesh Gilead who had retrieved their bodies from the public square of the Philistine city in Bethshan. So David brought the bones of Saul and Jonathan, as well as the bones of the men of the Gibeonites, the Gibeonites had executed, and he buried them all in the tomb of Kish, Saul's father, at the town of Zelah in the land of Benjamin. Dead spouse. So her actions was so powerful. Her actions, her love for her children, the motherhood that she was subject to was so strong that it changed David's heart. And that's what a mother can do. Number 11, a mother's love can challenge and change the heart of men. You know what I'm saying? The mother's love can challenge and change the heart of men. And that's what, again, David didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to pay, because y'all got to understand, it's a really big deal to be buried a certain way. That's a really big deal to be buried. Because if you look at, when you go over to the book of Kings, get into the book of Kings, you'll see all the good kings was buried a certain way. They was in their father's tomb or the tomb of the kings. And you know what I'm saying? They had a lot of, a nice funeral and all that. But all the bad kings, they were just thrown in a hole somewhere. You know, and it may say, oh, he was just buried in the garden at his own house. You know what I'm saying? So the way you're buried is a big thing, and it's an honor to be buried a certain way. It's an honor to be able to be laid to rest, you know what I'm saying, with the rest of your family. So her actions and what she did, her being a mother, her love as a mother, and her actions touched him so deeply that he not only buried these men, he went back and got Saul's bones and Jonathan's bones and buried them the proper way. See, that's what you got to understand. That's what a mother's love can do. It can challenge and change the heart of men. You know what I'm saying? We saw that even Jesus was subject to that. Y'all remember over in, I think it's the book of John, where Jesus, the famous story where Jesus turned water into wine. You know, Jesus didn't want to do it. If you know your story, you know your Bible, you know the story, Jesus didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? His mama, because it was his mama's friend's wedding. You know what I'm saying? He was just a guest. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't really want to do it. But his mama came to him like, hey, you know what I'm saying? They out of wine. And he was just like, you know, Jesus like, what they got to do with me? He said, well, you can go ahead and change it to wine. And he said, woman, what am I to do with you? You know, it's my time ain't came yet. I can't do this. And then what did mama say? Hey, whatever he tell y'all do, just go do it. You know what I'm saying? Mama wasn't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? He did God himself. She pushing God around because that's what a mother does, man. I say they're so pivotal in our society and they're so important. And it's just, it hurts my heart. It breaks my heart to see how motherhood has been attacked and how women are taught that they're foolish and dumb for becoming mothers. And that's about the most, like I said, that's the most purpose-driven, the most fruitful, the most productive thing a woman can do is to bring another life into this world and nurture and take care of that life. I mean, it's nothing better than that, you know. And like I said, it's about as close as we're gonna get to godliness. And right here we can see how it can challenge and change the heart of men. It touched David's heart because she went out there for months. Like I said, I could have went to other mothers, but that was just phenomenal. I mean, when I read this story always stuck out to me. This lady sat on rocks and protected the dead bodies of her boys so animals can come. Now you gotta understand too, it ain't like she was just fighting out little cats and dogs or something. She was fighting out animals. Like, I mean, it was probably wolves coming. I don't know what the animal, but it was big creatures. You know what I'm saying? She was fighting out vultures. I mean, she was fighting out everything. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just some little household pets or domesticated pets that was coming. She was fighting some real animals. They was coming for their flesh, especially at night. You know what I'm saying? Lions, it was probably lions in the area, bears in the area, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff in the area, because David talked about a time when he was watching the sheep and he had to fight a lion and a bear. So we know those things was in the area at that time, and she stayed up fighting those things because of the love she had with her boys, and they was dead. They was dead and gone. You know what I'm saying? I would have been like, man, they dead. What can I do now? You know what I'm saying? I would just left them hanging there because I'm a man, not a woman. Not a woman, not a mother, not a real mother. She didn't abandon her kids even in death. And that's what motherhood is. You know what I'm saying? So if you find yourself able to just abandon your kids and throw your kids off on people, now situations happen where you can't be in your kids' life. That happen. But make sure you're doing everything you can to be in their life if a situation arises. You know what I'm saying? If a situation arises, and you're not doing everything you can to be in that child's life, you're not doing everything you can to be able to be in a position of nursing that child, then I'm telling you, then you really need to look at your heart as a mother and look at your relationship with God, because God gave you that put that curse on a mother to where they have that soul bond, they have that tie to where their heart is always given to those children. You know what I'm saying? You all saw my post yesterday. I was talking to my wife, and I was praising her. And that was what really attracted me to her was the way she took care of the kids. The kids come first before me. You know what I'm saying? And it was so weird because I just happened to see this video, this dude run his mouth. You know how you see them videos and he's supposed to spit knowledge. He's like, man, the guy should come first before the kids, before everything else. And I'm like, that's wrong. To me, that's wrong. That's stupid. I want somebody that's going to put my kids first. You know what I'm saying? That's selfish. Like, I should come first before the kids. And you know what I'm saying? It was people sharing it and liking it and like, yeah, preach, brother. Like, no, that's a fool. You know what I'm saying? I got with my wife because when we first got together, she told me my kids come first because she had the older son. She already had him when we got together. And she told me before anything. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't just say it, because you got some women, my kid come first, and the moment the dude want to do something and put the kid last, the kid, to take the kid over to grandma's house and vominos with the guy. You know what I'm saying? It held up. Now, she told me, my son's like, look, I like you, cool, but I got the son, he comes first. You know, and she held to that. There was days, you know what I'm saying, we was dating where, you know what I'm saying, the kid got sick, you know, and she like, no, I can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Son's sick. You know what I'm saying? There was days where they had little activities and we had activities and some popped up. She took care of that son, and she always did. She always put him first. And she does that with our kids. And that's why I love her, was her instinct, the way she poured into the kids. She makes sure our kids are going to be taken care of. And that's why I love her. And I know that if something happened to me and I'm not around anymore, I know she's going to do everything she can to take care of our kids. Now, thank God, like now our kids are old enough they can take care of themselves, because the youngest one I got a 16 now. But even before then, I knew that if anything happens to me, my kids are going to be taken care of, because that's what a real mother do. And she did that. And we see that this lady here, her kids was dead and gone, and she still sat there and protected them. That's a mother's love right there. So that's why I named the sermon Father Sin. She was in that situation because of what Saul had did, but you know what I'm saying? But she made the best of this situation because of her love. And then the last line, and I'm done, it says, and after that, God ended the famine in the land of Israel. And on that one, I'm gonna read the King James version, because of it makes it a little bit more it just takes away from a little bit because they may seem like, okay, that was done and the famine ended, but it says after that God was entreated for the land. So in other words, somebody after that happened, somebody was able to go pray and get God to send the rain back on the land. So that's going to give us number 12. A heart full of animosity can block you from your blessings. And I said, hatred in your heart is never a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Hatred, God is not in God's will for anybody to have hatred toward anybody. So if you have hatred in your heart, then it can block you from your blessing, and you got to let that stuff go. And you know what I'm saying? These Gibeonites kind of had this hatred toward David and them, and David had to make reconciliation for what Saul had did. And once all this animosity all this beef was squashed, then guess what? Everything got back to normal. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing, like I said, and those are just little points, little things, because like I said, she had that one little section there, but I just thought that was an amazing lady for her to do that. That was an amazing mom, and we don't have that today. I don't think we have that these days. I don't think we have a mama these days that if something happened to their son and they was in a situation, they would sit out there for months at a time and fight off animals to keep them eating the dead bodies. They'd be too concerned about, you know what I'm saying, they getting their nails done or is how their wig is going to hold up them sleeping out there in the rain. Because you got to think about, she was outside. Again, she didn't have no tent. She didn't build no little hut. She slept on a rock. So if it was raining, she was sleeping in the rain. You know what I'm saying? It was harvest season, so it probably wasn't raining a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand too, she was in the middle. This takes place in the Middle East. So I'm pretty sure it was pretty hot. It was pretty hot out there. So it was hot, no rain or whatever. She was out there protecting those bodies from animals eating them because of the love she had for her children, because of a mother's love. That's deep. And that's what we're missing in our society today. And that's why our society is going in the direction it's going. And that's why I want to do this lesson, because we got to realize our motherhood is under attack. If you're a woman and you're watching this, man, and somebody try to make you feel stupid for having a baby, you thinking about having a baby, you got somebody. Now make sure it's with a good. Don't get out there with some dude that can barely take care of himself, and you know he definitely gonna take care of you, your child. Don't put yourself in a dumb situation. Now I'm not saying that. I'm not saying just have a baby to have a baby. But if you got a good situation, you know you with a good dude, and you know what I'm saying, you know the dude that's gonna be there with you, and he gonna provide for you, and he talk about talking to family, man. Forget that. Oh, I'll wait till I get out of school. No, have your baby, because if you can go and you can get those degrees and you can get that money and you can chase that bag, but I guarantee you'll never be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be satisfied. Nothing will satisfy you like it is to bring a new life into this world and to sit there and nurture that life and bring and guide that life and bring that person up. It's nothing more fulfilling. And again, my own personal opinion, I'm a man. So I may be speaking out of turn, but just from what I've seen, what I've read in the Bible, the relationship I have with people, it's just nothing more fulfilling than being able to be a mom. Have that baby say, love you, mom. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to mom. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why you hardly ever hear anybody say. I'm honest, I've never seen anybody shout out a dad. You know what I'm saying? Now you might see like, oh man, I thank my dad, but man, it's always, hey mom, love you, mom. It's always mom, because it's so deep, and we need to get back to that. We need to get back to that. We need to get back that sense of motherhood. We need to get back to that motherhood where a mother would lay out on rocks for months to protect her dead babies, because that bond is so deep. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get back to that, then our society is in for, you know what I'm saying, we're in a mess. We're in a mess. And the reason why we're in this mess is because of the spiritual wickedness going on, and we're seeing it. The fact that we would have 300 abortions a day, the fact that women are abandoning their kids to go to the club or to make OnlyFans or to do any of this other stuff they do for attention, it shows you just where we are in our society. And we really need moms. We need you women. We need you ladies to step up and get back to being mothers, focusing more on being a mothers than to being a hot girl, and we can get our society back to where it need to be. So again, a mother's love, a father's sin, and a mother's love. And again, I just thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all enjoyed that. It's like I said, it's a little out of the way. It's a lesson I did a while ago, but I just thought that was so magnificent. It was other mothers I could have did, and I could have won the chapters and the whole thing being about motherhood. But it's just that there, man. That really touched my heart, and you can see it touched the king's heart. But that really touched my heart. That a mother, the love that she had for her children, that she was able to, that she was willing to protect them even in death, just to keep them from being eaten. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they weren't gonna feel it. Who cares? Like, that's in my mind. That's what I'm saying. Logically, like, that don't even make sense. They ain't gonna feel it. Who cares? They're dead. They're gone. But not to that mother. Those, even though they was hanging there dead and lifeless, those who steer her babies, because that's the love of a mother. So I thank y'all for joining me tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And again, I know that's not what I said I was going to do, but it's just that it worked out. We hadn't started the new lesson yet, and it was Mother's Day. I said, you know what? I ain't did that in a while. Let me do that one. And like I said, I just feel we need it. We don't have that sense of motherhood no more. We don't have women want to be mothers. They want to be CEOs instead of mothers, and it's ruining our society. You know what I'm saying? The family dynamic is being destroyed, and our society is going down because of it. Look at all these dumb people running around. It's because we ain't got mothers no more. We got CEOs, and we need to get back to that. So with that being said, thank y'all for joining me tonight. Of course, I'm going to end this announcement. If there's anything in particular I haven't already covered yet, or certain stories you want me to cover, please reach out to me and let me know. Guess y'all like the lesson plan. Nobody ever reaches out, and y'all just go with the flow. So I appreciate that. But of course, as I always inbox me. Lord willing, I will start on the next lesson in Samuel. It's just I saw the opportunity to do this, and I wanted to bring this out. So next Monday night we will get back in the other part of Samuel, 1 Samuel, and look at some obedience or lesson on obedience. Keep sharing the videos, telling people about the videos, tagging people in the videos. I appreciate y'all doing that. The ministry have been growing, and I appreciate that. And I hope it's growing because people are being helped. I hope it's growing because these lessons are touching your heart and giving you insight and bringing you on a conviction, giving you the want to make change in your life so you can have a close relationship with God. And I really appreciate that. So y'all keep sharing the videos and telling people about it. And of course, you're watching this video. I didn't really talk about this one really like a godly message, so to speak. I didn't really talk about salvation and things of that nature tonight. But of course, if you're not saved, you watch the video and you're not 100% sure that you're going to see the Lord when you get through that door called death, reach out to me and let me know. I'll schedule some time with you to go over the gospel with you and help you make the decision, because it's the most important decision you ever make in your life. And as always, you need any kind of spiritual counseling, you got some questions about the Bible, just want to know how you have a close relationship with the Lord, whatever it is, reach out to me and let me know. I will schedule some counseling time with you and try to share whatever little wisdom I have with you to hopefully help you have a close relationship. And as always, if you want to go back and watch a series, watch an old video or something like that. I did this video, the original one on this like 3 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it's completely different from the way I did it now because I've grown since then. But if you want to go back and watch an old video, watch a series or something, you come in on the end of the series. This is the best way to do it. Go to youtube.com. My page is God's Servant / Lost Sheep Ministries. Type it in just like that because I don't have a lot of subscribers, so it's not going to be easy to find if you just put my name in. But type it in like that and you can go watch all my old stuff, and hopefully it'll help you as well. So again, thank y'all for joining me tonight. I hope that enjoyed you. All you mothers out there, man, I love y'all. I'm empathetic to your calls, especially you single mothers. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of work. I see what my wife go through, and I support her. So I can only imagine what you're going through as single mother. So, but I love you all, man. Don't let this world make you feel ashamed of what you've done. Don't let this world make you feel ashamed because of what you dedicate yourself to, pouring your life to your kids. The most wonderful, magnificent thing you can do. And again, in my opinion, I think it's the greatest thing a woman can do is to bring another life into this world and nurture it and raise it up. So thank you all for your sacrifice. I know there's a lot of sacrifice involved, a lot of time involved, but I thank you for it, and you are appreciated. And I just hope everybody had a happy Mother's Day. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pray and get out of here. Dear Lord and Father, thank you so much for watching over us tonight. I know this lesson was kind of a little out of left field, but I just felt with the time and everything and the time and the way everything worked out, it was a perfect one to bring up. And again, motherhood's been intact, Lord. Over these last couple of years, it's gotten really bad, and women are being pushed away from being mothers, and they pushed into being CEOs and bad bees and all those other things that really don't help our society, Lord. What we need is to have mothers get back to mothering, getting back to being at home with the kids. I was a victim of molestation and everything because my mom was out having to work, and then after a while she started running the streets because she was so stressed out from the work, Lord. And we really need mothers to get back to mothering and get back to nurturing and bringing these kids up the right way, and stop letting the streets do it, and stop letting these TV shows do it, and these TV programs and this music do it, and letting the mothers do it, Lord, so they can teach our kids the right way, and we can get this generation back to you before it's too late. We go past that point of no return and completely lose your mercy and grace upon our lives. We ask you to watch over the Lost Sheep Ministry, continue to help it grow, prosper, reach out to the community, change the lives of others, and capture lost souls of men. I pray you be with me, my family, my ministry and all my ministry members, Lord, in a mighty way. Keep your hands upon us and give us the encouragement and enthusiasm we need to continue to go forward doing this work you have for us to do, so we may be able to honor and glorify your name and actually build your kingdom. Be with us all as we go about this night. Keep us safe. I pray we can have a good, peaceful night's rest and wake up in the morning ready for another day of honor and glorifying your name and actually building your kingdom, Lord. And I pray you be with all your service members, all those that put their health, life, and safety at risk to protect the health, life, and safety of others. All those in the military, law enforcement, rescue services, medical service, all the people whose job put them on the front line of danger. Be with them all as they go about the night. Keep them all safe so they can have a good, safe night's rest and wake up in the morning ready for another day of honor and glorifying you. We thank you so much for this moment at night. Thank you for this time. And I pray that this time will be used to strengthen the relationship with others, but more importantly, Lord, bring mothers back, get mothers back to mothering, Lord. And I pray you just use these words in this time that we'll spend here tonight to honor and glorify your name and continue to actually build your kingdom. We love you and thank you for all you've done and given, and say this prayer in your wonderful Son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right, man. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Again, all you mothers that was watching, guys, I know I didn't really talk about much about guys, but I hope you watch and understand the significance of what these women do and the sacrifice they make when they decide to have one of our big behemoth children. But all you mothers, again, I love you all, and I pray that that you understand that the decision that you made was the right one. And I hope you do enjoy the joys of motherhood. I know there's some sorrow there too, but I hope it's more joy than sorrow. And again, I really appreciate what all you guys have done for the world and this society. And I pray that, again, you can get back to where we used to be, where mothers are mothering and not letting the government do it for us. So, again, I love you all. Thank you all. Thank y'all for the prayers. Again, my Lost Sheep people, y'all get to hang out with me for a little bit longer. God ain't ready for me to go just yet. So I'm still here. I'm going home. I'm staying home, not moving anywhere. So I look forward to seeing you all in the coming weeks. But I love everybody. Y'all continue to always pray for me, and I pray for you. And remember to always, always, always watch your back and pray. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.